What's going on, Libra? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic month so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Libra. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Let me tell you why, Libra. Because it is Celestial News Monthly. And with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves to a new sign, we're going to talk about where all the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Libra. So Libra, I have some oracle cards here with the zodiac signs that each of the planets are in. I'm gonna pull some oracle cards from this deck for one for each of these, and then we'll get some tarot cards to get some details on the story. But before we jump into these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then, in case y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Libra. But before we jump into this card here, let's talk about the little shindig that Gemini is throwing in their sign. Because you got the sun this is going to be in Gemini, and then Mercury will be joining a little bit later in June. But the sun is going to enter on the 21st of May and will be there through the 21st of June. And with this energy, Libra, this inspires our curiosity and really opens our mind up to like new perspectives. So if you've been wanting to take up like a new course of study, or maybe you want to refine an existing skill, I mean, this is great energy for it. Gemini is very intelligent, very curious, just absorbs information like a sponge. I have a Gemini moon, I'll tell you what, is always thinking. But also, you know, this is a great energy because Gemini can be very fun, very witty, very clever energy. This is a great time to, just have yourself some fun, Libra. Go have some fun conversations with some friends, some family, maybe even some coworkers, however that's looking like. But just surround yourself with just lighthearted energy and really just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy the moment, And then you have their ruler, look at that, Gemini ruling themselves. You got their ruler, Mercury, is going to be entering on the 11th of June and will be there through the 26th of June. And with this, you may be feeling more clear-headed, a little more objective, more mentally flexible. And so this is dope, but the thing is, with Mercury being at home in Gemini, you may notice that, the mind might be cranking quiet a bit there, Libra. So I've been saying, especially if we're in like a course of study or anything along those lines, just making sure that we're taking just some brain breaks, maybe doing some deep breathing, however that looks, especially if we get into a place where maybe if we get a little wired, a little anxious, things along those lines. But you might feel a little distracted too, but you might be feeling inspired as well, just because, Gemini's very inventive energy, might be having a bunch of ideas cooking up. And if that's the case, I've been telling people, just kind of keep a notebook on hand, because even if you come up with an idea that doesn't resonate with you, who knows, Libra, while you're out there socializing, enjoying this Gemini energy, you might come across someone who resonates with an idea that you put down. You bring it up, and look at that, you're collaborating. I see you. But let's see what the oracle card is. Oh, and actually, before I talk about this card, pretend you didn't see that. But Gemini is going to be, depending on where you have Libra placements, Gemini is going to be forming a trine with that aspect. And how you can check for that, I've included some apps that I personally like using down in the description box. But wherever you find this information, or whatever source you use, all you need is your date of birth, place of birth, and time of birth. And if you don't have because the thing that I've noticed is missing when I've been working with other people's charts, is that usually the time of birth has been the one that's been a little elusive, but you can still kind of get a general energy of what you're working with. The only things that are going to be we want to just kind of take with a grain of salt, your moon placement and your rising placement. And then, because And the thing with the moon placement, if you can, because I've had some charts where I've done like the sunrise time or whatever the default time is, and I'll use another app to kind of see where the moon's at. And if the moon's pretty comfortable in that sign within like a day or two, because you know moon spends about 2.5 days, you can probably assume that's your moon sign. And then you want to be mindful of any planets that fall on like a 0 degree or a 29th degree, because those even like a half an hour can change. For example, my stepdad, when I pulled up his chart, I didn't have his time at that moment, and it registered him as a Taurus moon on the 29th degree. I finally found his time. Turns out he's actually a Gemini moon on the 0 degree. So it's like makes a big difference there, Libra. But the nice thing about this energy with the forming a trine, trines are the most fortunate aspects, that can be formed with the planet. It's very harmonious, very, very lucky, good with opportunities, good creative flow, and just like promoting your natural talent. So pay attention to any kind of opportunities, any means to just really express yourself or anything along those lines, Libra. The energies are going to be nice, especially for, yours being a sign of partnerships. This could be a great thing to form some bonds, some partnerships, however that looks, whether it's in business, maybe it's a hobby, maybe starting like a band or whatever, Libra. Just something to think about with this energy. But now, let's talk about this card, because you got the 5th card of Aries here, which is the slingshot card. And with this card, this is a card of tension, strain, sudden, anxiety, pressure, launch, stressed, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions, ready, aim, and fire. And with this card, Libra, when this card comes up, just in general, if we've been under a lot of tension, a lot of pressure, anxiety, things along those lines, then finding ways to just find, little balance for yourself, as far as like, taking some time off. If this is like a work thing, maybe it's just been really busy and you've just haven't had a chance to take a break, get on a vacation, Libra, or just kind of have something planned out. Maybe do some, when we get off, maybe taking yourself a bath, maybe listening to some music, maybe lighting some incense, anything that can calm, maybe going by the water or, sitting by a fire, just any things that we can kind of alleviate that pressure. Because if we stay under that state of anxiety for too long, where it's not to say that you can't handle it, but that stuff catches up with us in the long run. If you just keep kind of cranking all the time, it can, if we ignore those body signals, I feel like higher self usually likes to keep the tower moments and things more so kind of in-house and internal. But if we ignore those signals, for this pressure and things, then, higher self is like, all right, we got to start going outwards. So, and that's not to get you scared, Libra. If anything, that's just to get you to pause, slow down, take a nap. But I also feel like with this, just been talking about with that Gemini energy, if we have any sort of ideas or anything along those lines, this is great energy for it to be getting stuff in motion, start getting some plans, embrace it, because we're in a time of just like great change, Libra. So definitely, if we want to get something started up, we're in a time of innovation, collaboration, work with these energies, Libra. But let's get some tarot on this and get some more details. Libra. Oh, Libra, I'm dropping stuff. Let's see what we got here. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Fool in reverse here, and then you have the 9 of Wands. And you know what, Libra, for some of you, just thinking with that tension card, if we've just been kind of, because 9 of Wands can be like, you've been kind of pushing for a while. It's been kind of tough time. Not tough times, but it's just like you've been just sort of like going. And I feel that just before if we've just been in a really busy period, just really before you think about starting up anything new, Libra, just making sure that we're carving out at least a moment or really 3 to recuperate, to process everything that has happened up until now, just depending on how this may be resonating with you. But Yeah, just make sure that we're not, because here's the thing, the Nine of Wands, if we keep pushing, utilizing that energy and just keep kind of forcing things through, that's the quickest way to end up in a hanged man situation, where it's like higher self is just like, all right, yeah, right, we're just gonna, let's just nap time. But yeah, the nine of, because this is the moon in Sagittarius, and I feel like with this, if you've noticed that you've been pushing through a cycle and there's no expansion, it's just this stress, tension, and things. Yes, I feel like it's time to just adjust things a little bit, Libra, because the Nine of Wands can also be like one of my cards of like recovery as well, just because you've been working for a while, you've been, whatever this is that you've been cooking up, or however busy you've been. So just something to keep about in mind there. But I'm also kind of getting to, for like how I was talking about, setting things in motion, getting some stuff started here. I feel that if some of us are afraid of getting things started up here because maybe of the work that needs to be done, because it's like, I was kind of telling Taurus this, it's like if we had this big dream and we love it's like a passion of ours, but it's just like sometimes we can let the idea of the dream seems so big that when we think about all the steps that we get to it, it can deter us. And I feel like that it's not thinking about, like, try when we're thinking about setting out to do something, carve it out in chunks, carve it out in a way that it makes sense, but don't feel like that you can't. Let's say if you want to be a big star, for example, then let's start small, let's create a YouTube channel first. Let's get our presence out there. Let's start doing more social media things, like there are ways you can get to that place, and that's going to require some work, but it's your passion. And something too with this Fool, because maybe we might be nervous about this because we might think we might fail at this thing. Well, that's perfect, Libra, because if you're worried, if you care about, if you're worried about failing, that means you care about it. It matters something, because you want to make sure that you're putting in your best work. So Libra, let that be an indicator too. If that's something that's resonating with you, absolutely. It might be we might have to grind a cycle or two, to get to that growth, but man, it's going to be worth it in the long run. And when we're finally on the other end of that, we can relax and just kind of enjoy the fruits of our labor. But just a little something to think about there, Libra. Let's see what else we got here. Interesting. Okay. So you got the Nine of Swords, and then we got the Emperor here. So just really kind of back again to just what I was talking about. If this is like some kind of idea that we're trying to launch or set in motion, if we're afraid, if we've been painting these scenarios of like, oh my gosh, like what happens if this fails, what happens if this happens, like just painting out all this, just paint out all the bad stuff. It's like, okay, you know what? That's, if anything, that's dope. Okay. All of those options are out there. So what about the good stuff? Let's balance that scale, Libra. Well, what are some good things that can happen with this stuff? Let's match those swords. This is like, the Nine of Swords, I like to think of it as like a sword fight. This is Mars and Gemini. And so it's like when you have one negative sword that's coming your way, what's the positive sword that's countering that? It's because here's the thing, Libra, especially you being an air sign, your thoughts are powerful. So if you tell yourself that you can't do this thing, that you're going to fail all this stuff, then you're just going to stay. Now we're getting kind of Eight of Swords territory, but it's just like that those feelings are going to perpetuate, and it's going to keep us from taking that action. But the Emperor here, especially if this is something that we're passionate about, he's going to take this fear and stuff, and that's going to be fuel for him, because this is going to be it's going to raise his vibration through the roof. So just something to think about there, Libra. I feel like this, especially with where, granted, Pluto's getting ready to retrograde back in Capricorn, but the stage has been set. We got a flavor of Pluto in Aquarius, and when Pluto officially settles in there next year, it's going to be a great time, especially for Aquarius, but this is going to be a time of the air signs. We're really getting an air energy. The stage is, it's really getting set up. So this is your time to really think about how do you want to bring it, coming into these next couple of years, Libra. What does this Emperor energy look like? I feel like this year especially is kind of like, we can still get some things started up here soon, but it's just like reflecting on what it is that we actually want to do, and what does that look like, and how do we get to those steps there. More. I love it. Be bold, Libra. Be assertive, and I feel like everything's going to be fine here. Oh, I'm not sure how you got out of order, but I guess we're just keeping it like this, Libra. Normally I have an order here, but I forgot I didn't switch it from Taurus, so here we are. Well, and speaking of Taurus, let's just talk about Taurus, because you got cool little thing here. Jupiter just moved into Taurus not too long ago. Then we've had Uranus, who's been having just a wild time over these last few years. But let's talk about Jupiter first, because Jupiter entered Taurus he entered on the 16th of May and will be there through the end of May 2024 next year. So yeah, we got a long while for this energy here, and this is great energy, because with Jupiter in Taurus, this is about thinking about those long-term investments. You know, how do we want to invest in our security? You know, it's like, how are we feeling career-wise, or how are we feeling with money? You know, how are we feeling with our health, our mental state? You know, our spiritual security. Jupiter's asking us to check all of this stuff here. You know, and figure out where we can grow and get more abundance and yeah, really just like really come into our highest octave there, Libra. And it might feel with this energy, because Taurus is considered like the slowest sign of the zodiac, you know, considering an earth sign, being the fixed earth sign. But the nice thing about that is that where it's not necessarily that the abundance is slowing down. It's just like, how do we milk this for the long run? How do we make this abundance really work for us? You know, we're really, you know, Taurus takes their time, because they want to wait. If they're going to invest in something, it's going to be emperor level. They're not just going to settle on any old thing. So this is not a time, Libra. You know, this is great opportunity for you, Libra, to really invest in whatever it is that you find passionate, you know, that you're passionate about, and really just invest in yourself just in general. And then you got Uranus in Taurus, because Uranus has been in Taurus since about like 2018, and you know, it's been a wild ride up until this point. But Uranus brings revolution. Yeah, the fool, Uranus. Uranus is not, and you know, Uranus is not just here to just bring change, you know, just to shake things up just cause. The energies are shifting, and Uranus is there to clear things out, because it's like, oh, that's not going to work in this new era. That's not going to work. And then Libra, this is when you bring in what does work. You know what I mean? That's what these energies are for. They're making space for you to create your world. What do you want to manifest? You know, let's see what you got. What dreams are you yeah, what inspires you, you know? And that's another thing too, just even thinking with that emperor, especially with where you, because listen, all of this change and stuff, yeah, it can feel where this place, you know, it can be, we could talk about doom and gloom and things along those lines, or we can be someone who's bringing hope and fulfillment and light and love and all of that, Libra. So just something to think about with these energies. But let's get an oracle card on the mix and get some more on this. Oh, all right, Libra, interesting. So you got the fourth card of Virgos here, which is the handcuffs card. And with this card, this is a card of control, defenseless, target, handicapped, held back, prey, suppress, need to break free, detained by external forces, applying force, incapacitated, submit, and feeling powerless. And so Libra, if there's something, and this is kind of what I feel like Jupiter wants, you know, if there's an area that you're feeling shackled in, or that you're feeling suppressed, or anything like that, this is a time to grow. It's time to break those chains. And how can we expand from that? How can we break free? What does that look like? Asking ourselves these questions, figuring out what work we need to put into, what nightmares are holding you back here, and then let's go out. Because then, you know, listen, Libra, even with this Fool in reverse, like, sure, we may not want to face this stuff at first. It can be hard to do, you know, whatever this might look like, whether this be some kind of healing, or even if we're just trying to go on just trying to grow, or trying to grow a business or something along those lines in general. But that stuff can feel kind of scary. But again, the Emperor uses this stuff as fuel here, and if anything's holding him back, how can we get above to keep this Emperor, to keep this thing going? Because the Emperor, this is Aries, it's the opposite sign of you, and we can learn a lot from our opposite signs. And this is something where, because this could be, if however this is looking, Libra, just making sure that we're not, that we're focusing on these things and trying to break away from these, because this could be a vice, whatever, however this may manifest. How do we break free from these suppressors here, or these things that are keeping us incapacitated? But also, Libra, I also feel like with this, how we were talking about with that slingshot, with that tension and strain and things, this is just more so thinking like with like the kind of like the detained with external forces and things. Because like in this, I want to be mindful here, because it's like, and I'm not trying to get you in a worry or anything, but it's just like if we're ignoring the body signs, and listen, this is not medical advice, but if we're ignoring the body signs and things, then it can, if it's not working internally, it can sometimes manifest externally, maybe through however that might look. It could be, I want to be mindful here, Libra. So just again, and I want, be mindful as well, Libra, just as far as like paying attention to how we're pushing. But one other thing, just because you have the Emperor here, and granted he's upright, but with these handcuffs, if you're in a situation where if you have like an Emperor type that might be suppressing you, that maybe they're adding this pressure or keeping you from, they might be this nightmare. I feel like don't feel that you have to stay in something like this. And listen, this is a judgment-free zone. I wouldn't tell you what to do. But if this is something where this person is lowering your vibration, then we got to get eyes on that and figure out what can we do to, because maybe this is just something as simple as a conversation, because maybe, you know what I mean, Libra? But just if something or someone, if it's just really got you where we're not growing, or you feel held back, or someone's preying on you or something, let's get some eyes on that. But, and just another thing, because the Emperor can be an authority figure, and we got handcuffs. Just be mindful of how we're dealing with authorities. I'm not saying that we have to be. I hope you get what I'm saying. A lot going on with that, Libra. So, but let's get Now let's get some tarot on this and get a little more details. Okay, so you have the Star here, and then you have the Queen of Cups in reverse here. And with this Queen of Cups, just with, again, if something doesn't feel right in your situation, whether this is some kind of anxiety, strain, suppression, anything along those lines, because the Queen of Cups, this is Cancerian energy. And if something doesn't feel right for you, or it's just like, like it just something in your gut is just telling you that this isn't right, then I feel, and I know that may seem like a duh, but sometimes even when we're in this, it's one thing when we're not in the situation, but when we go to face it, sometimes the circumstances can change. So, but just be aware of that and stay strong. If something is not resonating, we gotta try to figure out how we can move past that. Get some healing, and get that done. Because this is Aquarius's card, the Star here, and the Star card, this can also be a card of unexpected help. So if we find ourselves in a weird situation, maybe not necessarily with like an Emperor type, but if we're in like a tough situation, if we need some kind of help or anything, hit up an Emperor, or someone, or maybe even a Queen of Cups, someone who can maybe help you along with this. If that's something that we're having a tough time with, and maybe just life stuff in general, Libra, however that looks. But, that's something too, like the Queen of Cups. if she keeps those emotions bottled in and don't face them, then they fester and then they be turned, and then it's like how we were talking about earlier, manifest into like a tower moment and weird things like that. So Libra, allow yourself to feel these things. Like, I get that you're an air sign, but air signs where it's not that you're not emotional, it's just that you operate from a more logical standpoint. But just consider consider what's going down. You got to balance. It's all about balance. That head, keep your head and your heart in mind here. The feelings are important, especially in situations like this. We can try to make sense of it until the sun goes down. But if we're not, you know what I mean? But if we're not doing anything, then there may be something else here that might be preventing that momentum. So, what? Okay, Libra. Yeah, interesting. Interesting, but yeah, just again, just some things to just to keep in mind of there. Now, so, speaking of Cancer, and actually, yeah, let's talk about Cancerian energy, because you're a ruler. Venus is in Cancer. She entered Cancer on the 7th of May and will be there through the 5th of June. And with Venus being, I've been loving Venus being in Cancer. This has been, I don't know if I mentioned my sun signs in Cancer, but Venus and Cancer have a very special connection. There's this, because the moon is exalted in, Cancer's ruler is exalted in Taurus, and, the moon and Venus are feminine energy. So, it's just, it's fantastic. But this really motivates us to find more secure relationships, in our, whether this be in work, in love, in family, in friends, in however that's looking like, just really checking in with our relationships and making sure and just like how just very similar to Jupiter and Taurus, how are we feeling? And if there's any things that are having us feel restricted or have us, put us under tension, anything along those lines, how can we adjust that stuff? How can we do some healing and start, growing from these situations here? But this also can be, considering, Cancer is associated with the 4th house, and that deals with like the home, ancestry, roots and things. This can be a great time to be thinking about maybe some real estate. Maybe if we're thinking about moving, and listen, I'm not a real estate agent, so that's not my expertise. So hit up your real estate agent, find out how things are looking. But definitely, if we've been thinking about this stuff, do some research. See how the market's doing. But even if we're not looking, if we're cool where we're at, how's our space looking? Because Venus is a very artistic sign. Just because yes, the Empress is beautiful, but she, why she's beautiful? Because she knows how to create beauty. And it's not, and this is a great energy for doing some kind of home decor, whether is there a fresh room is there, yeah, well, I guess so. Is there a fresh room you want to paint? or an old room you want to paint? Or if you want to maybe do some gardening, or maybe clean up the shutters, maybe add like a whatever, Libra, doing some stuff, beautifying the home space. Great energy for it. But depending on where you have Libra placements, this your ruler is going to be forming a square with your sign. And squares they're formed 90 degrees of separation. And squares are a little bit trickier energy, Libra. They deal with, they kind of form like internal conflicts, restrictions, challenges. They can be a little irritating, inharmonious stuff. But how I like to feel, or how I like to think about squares, is that they remind us that we can be resourceful when it feels like life is just kind of happening to us. Because, like, for example, if I had to explain or give an example of a square, it would be like if your car broke down for a month, and then it's like, okay, now I have to think about how am I going to get to work? Do I have public transportation around me? And if so, what time do I need to go to bed? What time do I need to get up? What's my commute time looking like? Would it be more practical to do with Uber? Do I take a train? It gets that brain thinking, because like squares where, yeah, it may not have been an ideal situation, but there's growth in there. There are little nuggets in there, and that's the whole point of the square situations. They're delayed achievements, but and I'll tell you what, when you get through, because you get through them, Libra, when you get through them, it does help you feel just on top of the world after that. And who knows, maybe you find that you like public transportation better, and then look at that, you're cutting down on gas, and who knows, maybe you end up, who knows, Libra. But let's get an oracle on this. Nice. I like that. What a home, Libra. That's how you Empress. You got the 6th card of Sagittarius, which is a castle card. Get it, Libra. And this is a card of pride, recognition. I recognize you. Position, praise for achievements, ego, wealth, ancestry, antiquity, history, legacy, architecture, power, prestige, isolation, the old guard, and timeless. And you know, Libra, I do feel like for some of you, this can be a time for, especially how I was talking about if we have any sort of ideas and things. Because, you know, the star card is, oh, look at that, can barely hold on to your potential. The star card can also be a card of potential. And I feel that if there's something that you've been thinking about getting started, you know, or, you know, something you want to set in motion, I really feel like this really is a great time. Invest in that type of stuff now. That's how we build this legacy. This card here gives me very kind of like 10 of Pentacles vibes. And it's like, you know, this is a great energy for getting that type of stuff started. Because I feel like when you do, and it's not even that we're doing it for the praise, Libra. It's just like I feel like this, you know, you doing this thing can lead to just rich fulfillment, you know, because we're in this place. I feel like where the energies are at, we're really getting more into a time of, it's not just about just the work, you know what I mean? Just going, clocking in the work, clocking out, and just going home. It's like it's building a foundation, you know, and leaving some stuff behind. You know, how do we pass along something that's timeless? What does that look like? You know, it's asking these really kind of bigger questions here. And how can we leave this world with a vibration a little bit higher than when we came into this world? You came into it, you know, right? Real deep stuff here, but I do feel like some others, you know, and especially considering how that kind of came up in the home here, you know, this could be a thing too, you know, maybe to check in, you know, and you got Queen of Cups here, maybe check in with with our families here, see how our family castle's running here, you know, just making sure that everything might be okay there as well, you know, just another thing, just considering how those energies kind of lined up there. But yeah, let me get some tarot on this and get a few details on this castle here. Okay. Oh, all that? Oh, okay. All right, Libra. Oh, look at that. There's hubby. So you got the Page of Swords, the 7 of Coins, and the 10 of Wands upright. And then we have the King of Cups in reverse. And so here's the thing, Libra. I feel like with this energy, kind of going back to that ideas thing. If there are some ideas that we have to be, that we're cooking up, and yeah, I really feel like if you've been feeling inspired or something along those lines, I feel like the energies are like, let's start getting that stuff started. Let's start working on getting into this emperor position here, getting to a place of recognition. And I don't even mean like in a state of fame per se. This could be just more so like, I mean, even just having a sense of pride in yourself, Libra, just looking at the things that you've done and think like, wow, like, yeah, I did that. Like, that's what I'm talking about. You know, like, are we investing in things that give you that type of fulfillment? Because if we're not feeling that King of Cups and Queen of Cups in reverse here, if we're feeling like, you know, like it's just sort of like been meh, that life has just been kind of like a burden here. You know, it's one thing, I feel like 10 of Wands is one of those things where it's like, if it's a burden when it doesn't resonate with us, but when it does, it's a blessing. You know, like we don't mind. It's easy work. Like, sure, it was a lot to get to this castle here too, but when we're enjoying every step along the way, we don't notice that there's these 10 wands. We just notice that the tree that was formed there. So I really feel like that if you've been doing things that have been, you know, checking how you've been investing your energies, and if it doesn't feel right, if something is still not quite resonating or something, then let's take a step back and figure out and just reassess, you know, how can we pivot? You know, what does my heart really want here? And then off to the races there, Libra. But no, I think that's all. Okay, so I thought I had something else there, Libra, but no, I think that's all I got there. Dope. Moving along nicely. Interesting reading so far, Libra. But let's get into Leo energy, because this is going to be a fun one. Because you got Mars is going to be entering Leo on the day before the Sun does, on the 20th of May, and will be there through the 10th of July. And with this energy, this really is asking us to recognize, just like to really just appreciate like the positive moments in our lives and make more moments for just happiness, excitement, and just play there, Libra, because Leo energy is very fun, very creative, imaginative energy. And you talk about creativity with Mars being there, because Mars does great in a fire sign. I mean, it's creativity is going to be just to the max. And this is a great opportunity as well, just like how I was talking with like this resonance thing, if we haven't been feeling that like we've been following our heart, or that we've been, just been kind of doing stuff because it's expected of us, then I feel like this really is a time, Libra, just to make more stuff. Even, I'm not even saying if this is not necessarily like changing a career, but just like doing more things that just raise your vibration, that you're, like you focus on your hobbies and things along those lines, just make sure that you're enjoying this journey as well, and just having just a lot of fun, But and the nice thing about this energy as well with Mars is going to be forming a sextile with your signs. And sextiles after trines, equally, not equally, but very, very fortunate energy as well. Very easy flow of ideas. But the thing is, it's kind of passive and like, not really very dynamic energy. So we're going to acquire might need a little bit of work there to get that fortune, but it's totally there. Like, for example, I had a Virgo hit me up not too long ago about an opportunity. And at first I just kind of knocked it off. I was like, oh, I don't got those skills, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then took a moment and kind of reflected on that. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's going to actually solve like a whole bunch of things. So luckily I knew the Virgo to hit him back up for that. But it may present to you in opportunities like from friends, from maybe from work, however this may look. So just kind of pay attention to the signs there, Libra, and if something's resonating with you, something gets you excited, see where that goes. But let's get an oracle on this. Nice. Alrighty. So you got the 9th card of Taurus here, which is the Still card. And with this card, this is a card of refinement, taste, culture, style, fine-tune, concentrate, develops over time, purify, filter, draw out, infusion, spirits, alcohol, perfume, reduction, and cultivation. And Libra, the first thing that kind of popped in my head, I know that this card is talking about still, like a distiller, or like a distillery thing, but I more so was thinking about when I saw that, again, with that anxiety thing, the tension, the pressure. If we've been feeling that, great time for us to sit still and kind of, and allow your energies to kind of purify, because when you've been going like that for a while, that's you start racking up some it's a lot of stuff to process. And we really got to take a moment and take care of the body and just kind of filter out all that stuff, the energies that we're taking on, the stimulations from our environment, all of that. So this I feel like with that Leo energy, just if we can find some, and you know what, another way to purify the body, Libra, having some fun, doing some things that you enjoy, that can, that fill up your cups, that get you, that just get your emotional state back up, or, where we're back balanced there, Libra. So just something to think about there. But another thing with this card, this can be a card if we have found ourselves, just like, and listen, it's not going to resonate with everyone, but if we find ourselves maybe overindulging in some sort, whether this be drinking, like however this is looking, this could be every now and again. It's nice to, give the body a little time to just kind of recoup, maybe do like a little and listen, this isn't medical advice or anything, but just do a little detox there, or something, just, hydrate, make sure we're just getting in some hydration and things, maybe cooking some healthier, healthy meals and things just whenever we have a moment, just things like that, Libra. But let's get some let's get some tarot on this and get some details. All right, King of Pentacles, I see you. I like that. Okay, so you got the Death card upright, and then you got the Ten of Cups, and then the King of Coins in reverse. And so, you know, Libra, really with this kind of, if there's something that you've noticed, even just thinking with that handcuffs, you know, if there's something that's been kind of like holding you back, that's got you under tension, you know, that's affecting your legacy, really, preventing transformation from you from feeling abundant, from getting to your happily ever after, Ten of Cups, King of Pentacles, then let's work on filtering that stuff out there, you know, and listen, it's gonna take it might take a cycle or two to kind of filter all this stuff out here, but it's like how this thing says, it develops over time. And that's where we're at right now. We really are sort of in like, and again, it's not that abundance is gonna slow down or everything, but we're kind of like in like a slow burn phase, which is lovely to really be present for our growth and think about how we want to get again to this castle, you know, get to this Empress dream right here, because that's what's up. That's Empress level stuff. But in order to get to Empress level things, we have to do Empress, you know, there's some Empress tasks that we need to get done. And sometimes, you know, we gotta fine tune some things, you know, find out how is our taste for stuff that we used to do, is it still resonating the same way? You know, just really paying attention to that, because it affects your just abundance in a grand scheme, your pentacles, your health, your material resources, all of that. So if we've been embrace it, you know, if we've been feeling any of this, Libra, it's time to embrace the change, Scorpio energy, because it's and here's the thing, you know, change is going to happen regardless, but it's just like how comfortable I feel like with Scorpio energy, Scorpios either bring in change or they can bring catharsis, you know, and I feel like change is one of those, and hear me out. Like, I feel like change is one of those things that sometimes that is like, feels like we can be just kind of like forced upon us or something like that. But like the catharsis of it, when we embrace that transition, that transformation, it really is something freeing, you know what I mean? Even in its uncomfortableness, it's just like when you get out of that thing, it's just like, oh, thank goodness. And you feel just 100 times better. Your vibration just raised to the roof, and it's just a wonderful time. I hope that made sense, but just something to think about, Libra. If there's anything that you need to purify or that needs your attention, let's focus on that, okay? Dope. Moving right along here, Libra. So next thing we have, let me get some tea and then we'll get into this next one. So we have Pisces energy. And with Pisces, we have two planets. We got Neptune and then we got Saturn in Pisces. And then let's talk about Neptune first, because Neptune's been hanging out for a while there. Neptune is one of Pisces' rules along with Jupiter. And with Neptune having chilled, she stays in the sign for about 14-ish years, roughly. But with Neptune being at home, she's in a very dreamy state right now, which is really cool, because our imaginations are very vivid right now. You know, this inspiration is brilliant, but because the dreams can seem so grand, these castles can seem so big, it's just like, but how do we build that castle? And sometimes that's where the trickiness with Neptune and Pisces can be, is that we can stay stuck in that dream state of like, ooh, I see the potential here, but it's just like, all right, girl, how long are we going to keep just looking at that potential? When are we going to start actually going towards that potential? You know, that's ultimately what Neptune and Pisces wants, and really what Saturn and Pisces wants too. And now that Saturn's there, he's really kind of helping bringing your Ten of Cups down to home here. But Neptune and Pisces as well it's very compassionate energy, very much about they're very romantic, very loving, and about the collective. But this is great energy too, to really kind of form that strong soul tribe bond, you know, to really find those those people who are going to be, you know, help you raise the vibration, to bring Ten of Cups and, you know, Ten of Pentacles and just like all this richness to the world here. Because I feel like that's going to be really important these next couple of years because Neptune's going to be in Pisces until the end of March 2025, until he moves into, or until she moves into Aries. And where Mars or Neptune in Aries can be a great time for a rise of like spiritual leaders and healers and things, you know, really get people inspired towards their dreams and stuff. It could also be on the opposite end, could bring some type of fanaticisms, you know, or like cultish type things. You know, it's a very kind of tricky energy there. So we just want to be mindful of the relationships that we're forming, you know, really trusting your intuition, especially yours being a sign of partnerships, being aware of the relationships that we're forming with, you know, like long term there, you know, just thinking about that kind of stuff there, Libra. But last other thing, you know, Neptune and Pisces, you know, they're both very psychic energies. So this is a great time too to just really get in touch with your spirituality and just like, and however that looks like, and just really just raise your vibration to the roof. And let's do it quickly because I'm kidding, but because, well, Saturn. Saturn is going to be going retrograde on the 17th of June and will be retrograde until the 4th of November. And, you know, retrogrades just deal with reflection in general, but when Saturn is doing it, it's almost like a cosmic interrogation. Like, Saturn means he can be a bit of a hard ass. He's the planet, he's a taskmaster, you know, planet of restrictions, limitations, karma, but there's abundance in that. He's just not there to just keep us down, you know, just like with any other energy. We put in that work, then Saturn will reward you just as abundantly as Jupiter does. It's just that he has a little bit more, a little more of a longer checklist than Jupiter. But, you know, Saturn retrograding is pretty much asking you, Libra, what have we been doing up until now? Have we been working towards our 10 of Cups? You know, are we in our Emperor energy? Have you realized that potential? Why are your King and Queens in reverse? You know, because he really does a lot. But also, with it more specifically being in Pisces, again, another ideal time for soul searching and doing that shadow work. You may notice a little bit of delays and setbacks as well. You know, it's going to be during this time, you know, it's kind of a slow but a steady progress here. But again, that just gives you time to really think about this, where you want to take your legacy. You know, what is this? What is you know, what do you, where do you see this journey? You know, how you looking, King of Pentacles? You know, what is that? What is your dreams looking like, and how do we get towards that direction? But let's get an oracle on this. Love it. That's what I'm talking about, Libra. So we got the first card of Aries here, which is the Diamond card. And with this card, this is a card of creative force, faithfulness, value, perfection, brilliance, commitment, light, purity, esteem, unconquerable force, multidimensional, multifaceted, and invincible spiritual power. And Libra, that's pretty much what you are. You're ruled by the Empress. Talk about creative force. I don't need to tell you that. You are an invincible spiritual power, and it's remembering that, and it's honing that. Because what better way to hone this brilliance than to like do it, you know, like getting out there again, how I was talking with those ideas and things. Let's get this stuff pushing, because sure, going towards these dreams and stuff might add a little pressure, you know, I put a little strain on you, but look what's happening here. We're making diamonds. That's why, Libra. I told you had Empress dreams, and I bet Empresses do dream of diamonds. Just abundance. But this is really a wonderful time for you to really just shine your brightest, Libra. Like I was talking about, you know, where the energies are setting up the signs for the air signs. Pluto's going to be in the Aquarius for the next 20 years. So what do you want to get accomplished during that time? You know, it's on. You know, really shine as bright as possible. Gemini got the Diamond card too. So I haven't done Aquarius yet. They're coming up here towards the end, but so. Don't sleep on that there, Emperor. I mean, come on. All this Aries energy here is trying to take some action, Libra. But, yeah, okay. I'm also kind of getting with this thing, Libra. Just, I feel like with this is asking you too, just what what is it that you value in life? You know, just like really, what would raise your vibration through the roof? You know, like what do you, because you are multifaceted, Libra. There are a number, and the thing is too, when we're thinking about what abundance and stuff looks like for you, everyone's happily ever after. How happily ever after looks like for me looks different to you, then looks different to the Emperor. But it's asking ourselves these questions, you know, what does that look like? And then sticking true to yourself. You know, every diamond, you know, sure, they may all look different, but they're all getting to the coals are all getting to that same goal, but how the pressure is applied is different. You know what I mean? And this is just like feeling like, you know, what things do you want to invest in to get to this diamond state, you know, to get to this, to this shininess. But let's get some tarot on this. Let's see what we got here, Libra. Ha! Go on and get it, Libra. You got the Chariot here. And the Chariot, I mean, this is your victory. You know, you put in that shadow work, put in this energy. I mean, it's off to the races, and things just start lining up more towards you. And I mean, you got some pretty, you know, some interesting, you know, just even thinking about that. It's like you got a couple cardinals here and we got a couple fixed signs here. So it's like once we get this thing started, Libra, I feel like it's like keep that momentum, especially if this is something that's like really you're really passionate about, because there's potential here. There's a diamond in that sky. So yeah, I feel like this Chariot is saying, you know, just really, you know, even when life gets tough, you know, when we're in the 9 of Wands, you know, feeling kind of our energies are feeling low, 10 of Wands, maybe we're just like, not sure how we're gonna do it. Remember the end game, you know, and of course we're taking rest in between Libra, but just remember that even when life throws you curveballs and things, it's not meant to keep you down. It's meant to get you strong, to get you in shape to really make the most of when you really start getting in that Empress energy, you know, that invincible spiritual power that you have. So let's see what else we got here, Libra. You get it. Absolutely. Got the Queen of Wands here, and then we got the 5 of Coins. And you know what, Libra? I feel like with this 5 of Coins, especially when we're thinking about going out and getting this dream, sometimes we can feel like we don't have the resources that we need, or we can get in this place of lack, or that, you know, like it can seem too grand. You know, it's like, how am I going to get this thing? I need mirrors, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And it's just like, okay, that's cool, that's what you need. What do you have? What do you have to get started? You know, the Queen of Wands, she's not going to sweat the details too hard. She's going to, of course, she's going to do her research, but she's the type, she's going to figure it out as she goes. Since she rules the first 2 decans of Aries and the last of Pisces. So she's very creative. She's innovative. She's a trailblazer. She wants to get there. She ain't got, why wait? I'm sorry. Someone told me they're diamonds and a castle. Move. That's Queen of Wands. And that's, I feel like we need to be, Libra, especially when it comes towards these dreams and stuff. And if there's something that's got you feeling lack thereof or anything, you know, let's see how we can transition out of that. You know, what does that look like? What initiatives can we take to change this narrative, to get closer to this fulfillment, to this diamonds, to your 10 of Pentacles, your castle, all of this stuff. And again, Libra, you know, we're going to have to filter out some things, you know, however that looks, you know, things that don't resonate with you, that lower your vibration. But and you know, Libra, again, this is something with this dream, you know, it's lofty. You know, the 5 of Coins, you see she's sitting out here trying to dream of diamonds, and she's sitting out in the cold here. Go inside, Libra. Go see who's there to help you. You know, that's something too, because this is Mars and Taurus. And sometimes when you think about Mars and Taurus, it's like that could be something we can kind of drag our feet a little bit too long on some things. You know, maybe we might overthink some stuff, and you know, but I just feel like with this energy, it's like you got a lot of heat here, and it just feels like it's feeling like it may be, time to think about getting some stuff started, or just maybe shifting over to, just becoming more into yourself, raising your self-esteem, and just, I'm not sure, Libra, but, committing to this thing, just wholeheartedly. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense, Mar. Dope. All right, let's get some tea and let's talk about Capricorn. Yeah, interesting Libra, or you're an interesting Libra, but this is interesting reading here, Libra. Little bit of everything going down here, and I feel so. It looks like we got a lot that we're might need to think about there. But last thing, Pluto is going to be retrograding into Capricorn on the 11th of June, right when Mercury enters Gemini. So look at that. This is going to be wonderful energy, and we'll be there through the 10th of October. And with this energy, this is asking us, what do we need to feel independent, and to feel free to do what we want based off what we earned? How do we get into this, how we feel about getting to this castle here? And it's like, what do you need, well, like what patterns do you need to change? Is there anything that's lowering our vibration? Is this, however that may be looking, Saturn's asking the same type of deal. What are we doing? And then this is asking, what does success look like to you? How are you looking in your Emperor energy? How confident? King of Pentacles, King of Cups. What does that look like, Libra? Pluto in Capricorn, because Capricorn is a sign of they're the achievers of the zodiacs. They're the hard workers, and it's going to take some work to get to this stuff here, but it's going to be totally worth it, Libra. And one other thing, depending on where your Libra placements are, it's going to be for those of you who will more so have Libra placements towards like the tail end. I want to say Capricorn or Pluto's going to be retrograding up to like the 27th degree of Capricorn, and then it will proceed to go back. So just something to pay attention to. That's going to form another square, just like it did with Cancer. So just something to keep eyes on as well. And, with Pluto, that's going to be being the planet of death and transformation and things. They rule of one of Scorpio's rulers. It could feel potentially a little intense, but it's going to be big rewards for you. But diamonds. But let's get an oracle on this. All right, Libra, we're about to get busy. You got the 8th card of Taurus here, which is the Beehive. And with this card, this is a card of diligent, persistent, stamina, application, tireless, mindful, hard work, devoted, fruitful, busy, conscientious, energetic, continual, harvest, endurance, effort, patience, and concentration. And I feel like here, Libra, it's like you got like opposite things here. It's like you got that where I'm all about being busy, putting in the hard work, doing those things. Just definitely, I like that I mentioned being conscientious. Be conscientious of your energies. If you find yourself while we're working on whatever this thing is, or just in general, Libra, any kind of anxieties, pressures, stressed out and stuff, make sure that we're just carving out times for breaks and things. We don't have to work tirelessly all the time. That's something we can find a work smart, play smart thing. Because here's the thing, if we work hard, play hard, it's kind of hard to do that, because it's like you're working, and then when it's time to play, it's like you're still in work mode, and it's like you got to force yourself into vacation mode, no kind of transition period, and then by the time you really get settled into your vacation, it's time to go to work, and then you really need a vacation from your vacation because you're exhausted. So we just want to make sure we're not getting in that kind of cycle, like carving out maybe like a little more pockets of like more, maybe instead of long chunks, maybe say the long chunks once a year and just like random pockets throughout the year. However, make it work for you, Libra. But I do feel that this is going to be potentially a busy time, depending on what it is that we want to, whatever goals that we have, wherever we're trying to feel stable. This is going to, not even just for you, Libra, where the Zodiac is working, because the energies have been pretty potent here. Yours feels pretty chill, Libra. I like where this is at. I feel like this is like, the energies are hot, so everyone's kind of in like this harvest state right now. And so, and really thinking about 10 of Cups, and because yeah, 10 of Cups has been going around. Yeah, Chariot quite a bit, the Star. So this is, yeah, the Emperor. I think Taurus got the Emperor too. So yeah, we're in a time definitely of hard work, but we just want to be mindful with this work as well. You know, just watch our stamina but persevere. You know that dance, Libra. But let's get some tarot on this. Okay. Oh, all right. There's that Tower. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, and then we got the Three of Coins here. And so, you know, Libra, just with the Tower, because I feel like that this is not necessarily like especially with the Emperor popping up here, I don't feel like this is necessarily like a Tower moment like happening to you. I feel like this is you making the most of a Tower situation. Like, well, let me hold on, because then that's still happening to you. So I feel like, let me get myself together, Libra. I feel like this Tower moment is one that you're really taking advantage of, if that makes sense. You know, I feel like, because it's one thing when it's in reverse, it's like we're causing the change. But it's like if you see that, okay, this change is happening, the Three of Coins is just like, okay, how can I work with this energy? How can I get, what quality can I get out of this situation here? And then, yeah, and then how can I form diamonds? How can I build that legacy there? But I also feel like, Libra, if we have been working real hard and maybe we're in a Tower moment and we're feeling kind of stuck here, the Three of Coins can also be a card of just asking for help, you know, by partnering with some people, you know, maybe either, in this, even if they can't necessarily help you with the situation, like do the actual work, maybe they could just be someone just like an ear to listen to, you know, someone to just to talk about these things, to just bounce some kind of, you know, so like a sounding board and things. But you know, this is exactly what Pluto is bringing, just change and just reformation. Everything is, we're evolving, Libra. And yeah, we're going to get into a busy time here, but I feel like it's going to be not just like busy, just like, you know, it's going to be something that we're going to enjoy the results that are coming from this. I think you're the first one that's gotten a Tower. Think about it. So again, you know what, that's just, you know, that might be another indicator too there, Libra. Just considering too that Mars rules over Scorpio and Aries here. Oh, action. Yeah, because look, got the Ace of Coins here in reverse. And hold on, let me switch back over here, Libra. Because with the Ace of Coins, I mean, I feel like, you know, when it comes to the aces, they're just like the seeds, you know, of opportunity. They're just the potential. What we do with those seeds and how we tend to them is what's going to matter. So if we're just really over this, let's say even up until probably like the next set of lunar eclipses, Libra, but really just honestly just throughout this year, what does Ace of Pentacles look like for you? Where do you want to invest your energies, and how, you know, you just ask, what does abundance look like for you? And then, you know, really, then let's take action. Let's start thinking about what ways we can change, what ways we can, you know, take initiative and embrace this new foundation that's being laid out here for you, you know? Because sometimes with the Ace of Coins, sometimes it's like, yes, your opportunities can be presented to us, but other times we got to make our own opportunities here, Libra. So yeah, this is going to be interesting time for you, but I feel like, I mean, come on, King of Coins, you know, the potential, Libra, is just like, what do you, because it's like, it's neither, I'm not getting a strong energy neither here nor there. It's just like, what do you want to do with this? And I feel like that's, you know, where you go, that's where this, which is like a duh, but just more so specifically, I feel like for you, you know, where you're guiding this chariot is going to be, we'll see, you know, we'll just see what that means. So, and I don't mean to, I'm not trying to say that to be like mysterious or anything, Libra. It's just like, that's energy you gave me. So, I think I'm going to leave that there, Libra. But if something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this, you know, because this is, I mean, because there's a lot of potential here, Libra, for diamonds and castles. And it's just like we got to figure out what areas do we need to refine, you know, what does happiness look like for you? And then just off to the races. And yeah, just if, wait, were we sharing? If we didn't, share that again. And then subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer. It's I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. It's just a group to drop like positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And you know, as the group grows, definitely want to do just some meditation things, but all that information is in the description box. And then lastly, you got a hot ticket here to come over to the charity, and friends. Not that you need one, but if you got any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to my other channel, The Charity and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. All right, so you got the Four of Coins here, Libra. And then while I'm, and that gives me kind of very Four of, or that fourth card of Virgos as well. Just if we've been feeling restricted in any kind of way with that Four of Coins, I feel like it's asking, you know, how can we break out of that? You know, what does that look like? You know, nice. And I like that. And what better way to get out of that than to ask, you know, because you got the Love card in reverse. What do you love? You know, what do you want to do in this journey? You know, what would raise your vibration? What would get you feeling balanced? You know, yeah, just all these questions here, because this is dope, Libra. And it's just, and I really feel like, you know, too, just kind of how we were talking again, just with that pressure and things, just make sure that we're finding that balance, you know, and that it's okay to take a break and give yourself some self-love as well, you know, to take some time and self-care, especially with your ruler being in Cancer. Please treat yourself. All right, Libra, I'm going to leave that there. So where'd my mouse go? You stay safe out there and just raise that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.